Hey friends, it's Mel. Welcome back to my kitchen. Happy Father's Day to my dad, my father in love, and all you dads out there. If you're ready for some quick, easy, delicious meals and a yummy classic pie, just sit back, relax, grab your sweet tea, and let me do the cooking. Hey friends, it's Mel. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner. I appreciate you being here. I've got two new-to-me casseroles to share with you this week, and one of them is another one from the Six Sisters stuff. After having that chicken and squash last week, that one was so good, I had to give this one a try too. It's been crazy busy. I know you guys have been too, so I've got Big Macs getting ready to cook up back here at home. Let's get started with that, and I'll show you the casseroles and the dessert I made this week. Hello, friends. It's hot this week. It's been crazy, I tell you what. I am getting my apron on. I'm getting ready to fry some hamburgers tonight, and these are sort of going to be like Big Macs. Long time ago, when I first started my channel, I showed making Big Macs at home, and I did it with, all the buns, where you do the 3 buns. You can do that, but tonight, I'm just going to make like a 1-layer Big Mac, because, man, I don't need all them buns. It's kind of wasteful, number one. I mean, I would use my extra buns for toast or something, but I really just like one patty on my burgers, because I can never get my meat as thin as what McDonald's puts on those hamburgers. So what makes some Big Mac? It's this stuff right here. I got some of this at Walmart one time that was very good. Tonight I'm using the Kroger brand. That makes it. You can make this from scratch too. There's lots of recipes on Pinterest and that kind of stuff, but I think this was $1.50. That's fine. We'll use it, and it'll save me the trouble. A lot of people like to dip stuff in this too, so that will make it Big Macs. And these little deals right here, these little chopped onions, they're like dehydrated. You get them, with the spices and stuff. I sprinkle them on the top of my sliders sometimes, but what we're going to do with them, I'm just going to put some down into one of my fancy mugs here, my butter melting coffee cups. I got a whole bunch of these, but I also use them for stuff like this. So I'm just going to sprinkle a good bit down in there, but what we're going to do is rehydrate them. Okie doke, I put this under the light over here. I don't know why I was standing over there in the dark, but I like to use this coffee cup because it's small at the bottom, and you just want to put just as little bit of water as you need to. But you want to make sure that they all get wet. And you're just going to let them sit there in this dampness for just a little while. Now, if there's still water, you can get that water off at the end when you get done. But we're just going to let these sit here and rehydrate. And it tastes just like them little onions from McDonald's. Okie doke, I've got a pound here of ground beef. And this is pretty fatty ground beef. This is 27% fat, which should make a delicious hamburger. So I'm just going to get this out of here. And like I said, I could never, ever get mine pattied out and cooked up as thin as what McDonald's does. So I'm just going to do 4 burgers tonight. I think it will probably just be me and Patrick. I know Maddie is eating with my mom, I think. Callie will probably be home. So I'm going to do 4 burgers, and I would eat 1, Callie would eat 1, Patrick might eat 2. If not, somebody can eat it tomorrow. But this is plenty enough. I just try to get them out even. I have shown you guys before when I fry burgers, I love to fix them up like my friend Nora showed me. And you just take your meat and you put in Worcestershire sauce and Heinz 57 and Lowry seasoning salt. I absolutely love that flavor. But every now and again, you just get to wanting a Big Mac. And I would much rather just put mine together at home, do a little bit more meat, 1 layer of it, and just, one bun. But anyhow, I'm pattying these out, and I'm just going to fry them up. And I am only going to put salt and pepper on these. I'm not going to go crazy with onion powder, garlic powder, that kind of stuff. Just want it plain and simple, because we're going to throw on this cheese, this American cheese, those little onions, and the special sauce, and the shredded lettuce. I forgot to mention that. My lettuce is laying over there by the sink. The biggest giveaway that you've got yourself a Big Mac is when you see all that shredded lettuce hanging out your box whenever you get it out of the bag in the drive-thru. I love the shredded lettuce, but y'all know that. I like lettuce. I like crunchy lettuce. I like green lettuce. I like it all. Anywho, all I did was salt and pepper these. You see all that flavor. Remember, this is not fat. That's what we learned there a few weeks ago in that blogger's recipe that I read. This is flavor, not fat. Getting that fried up. I don't like that one where you can see the blood. I don't like that at all. I'm going to go ahead and turn that one over. And I try not to pack them too tight. There's such a fine line. Everybody's hamburgers look so pretty. Everybody else's. They'll put that little dent in the middle and their burgers stay together and they don't get big and puffy. Mine never have been that way. I put the dent in the middle, it just disappears. They get puffy, they come apart. I don't know what it is about me. I read all the things and try all the tips, but that's just how it happens. See, that one is coming apart. But they say don't squish them together too hard. Anyway, I'm going to salt and pepper this side. Then I'm going to slip over here. And I'm going to slice me some lettuce up. Just as small as shreds as I can get it. So, yes, I've had a couple of really quick little casserole dealios this week. Frying these hamburgers up takes literally no time. And yeah, I'm going to have to get this done, and I got to go somewhere else for a little bit tonight. But that's all right. At least I'm here getting it done. Oh, and yes, welcome to the gun show there. I'm in here cooking just took my cardigan off and cooking things up. But another thing, too, that I wanted to ask you about. Have you heard anything about lettuce shortages? In my grocery haul Wednesday, I was talking about, some personal product shortages that we were hearing about. And I think it was Lindsay. I might be wrong, though. But one of you guys told me there's going to be a lettuce shortage. So I'm going to have to get out there and get some lettuce and stuff out in that little garden the kids have done. That garden's looking great, too. I'll try to get them to go out there and take some footage. While I'm not here tonight, they'll be out there, looking at it and everything. It ain't much. It ain't going to be like nothing to can and put up and everything. But it will be a nice little addition to our family's meals. Green onions, bell peppers, squash, zucchini, cucumbers, that kind of stuff. It'd be nice. You can see these burgers are pretty well done. I'm just melting some American cheese on the top of them, and I'm going to build my Big Mac. I didn't even take the time to toast my buns or anything tonight. I'm going to load it up with some of my secret sauce from Kroger's, put some of those rehydrated onions on there, and a big mound of shredded lettuce. This was so delicious. I have to say, the Kroger secret sauce was not as good as the one I've gotten at Walmart, but it was still good. Just had some pickles on the side and chips. Nothing beats a good old home fried hamburger. You can make them up however you like them, but this was just a different taste on something that we make a lot at home. Now I've got another recipe from the Six Sisters stuff. And you can start out with using frozen spinach, but I had a huge bag of spinach that we probably just got through about half of it. So I'm just wilting that down in a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to add in some onions and garlic and saute all this up until it's nice and soft and translucent. I am using the biggest skillet I have because I'm going to mix everything in it. And I have about 3 chicken breasts that I had cooked in a crock pot and shredded up. And I'm going to add that in and get it all reheated. If you had a rotisserie chicken, you could use that, or you could just chunk up some chicken breast and fry it up as you go. I'm going to add in 1 can of diced tomatoes, and we are not draining those. I'm going to take a 24-ounce jar of marinara sauce, add that right in, and then I'll always put just a little bit of water in my jar to get all the rest of that sauce out. I'm going to use about 3 big tablespoons of tomato paste in here too, and a good helping of Italian seasoning. I just finished off this little jar that I had that just had a couple of teaspoons in it probably. You're going to stir all that together and get it mixed really well and let it come back up to a boil and simmer and thicken up there for just a little bit. Now I've had 10 ounces of penne pasta that I cooked up and drained over on the side. I'm going to bring that in and now stir all of this together with just probably a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. I'm just transferring all this over into a very large casserole dish and topping it with probably another 1/4 or 1/2 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. I pulled out that Italian cheese I had from Ollie's. I just felt like it needed a little bit of that over the top of it too. This is an odd shaped casserole dish that I have. I love it, but it is huge. This would go in a 9 by 13 pan. I'm going to bake that up for about 20 minutes on 350, and then I always like to hit that broiler at the end and get it nice and gooey and brown on the top. This had lots of good spinach and tomatoes in it. I did not even get my salad fixed up this week, and I missed that, but this had all the components of a meal in one dish. We had lots of leftover tortilla chips and buns from a little cookout we had had, so I just made us some garlic bread out of some of those hamburger buns that were left over. Now, all those tortilla chips, I was trying to think how we could get rid of some of those. I found this recipe a long time. It's called Easy Mexican Casserole, and these are all the ingredients that go with it. It's a lot like the Dorito casserole that we have all seen, but this one just had regular tortilla chips. But if you have Doritos, they'll be wonderful in this as well. Starts out like lots of good casseroles do, with browning up a pound of hamburger meat on top of the stove, and I'm going to drain the grease off that. Then I'm going to add some onions in with it and get them all cooked up and translucent. I'm going to put in a 15-ounce can of pinto beans, not drained or rinsed or anything. Same thing with a small can of Rotel, putting it in, juice and all, and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And this gives it a very different look and texture to this dish. I was skeptical, but it turned out really good. I'm going to add in a 1/2 cup of water to this and get everything mixed together really nice. Then you're going to use 1 packet of taco seasoning, stir it all together, and let it simmer for a while. Now this recipe called for ranch beans, and I think that's really just like seasoned pintos, and I just used pintos because I knew we would be putting this taco seasoning in here. You can see this looks kind of gross, but just trust the process. I've got a 9 by 13 casserole dish. And I have just crunched up a bunch of tortilla chips in the bottom of this. Then you're going to put half of that bean and meat and tomato mixture on top of your tortillas. Oh, and I sprayed my pan. You know, I always spray my pans. If I ever don't say that, you know I've sprayed it. You're going to put a little bit of cheddar cheese over the top of this. Then you're going to crunch up another layer of the tortilla chips to go over the cheese. Then you're just going to repeat the rest of that mixture, and then you're going to top it with cheese again. And I will have both this recipe and the Six Sisters stuff and the pie to come up. I'll have them all linked down in the description box for you, like I always do. Since it has all this cheese on the top, I'm going to spray my aluminum foil before I put it over the top so it won't stick to it. And this is going to go in a 350 degree oven for about 20 minutes. As always, I'm going to pull that foil off and let it brown up under the broiler before I pull it out. Look at that dish. This thing was like a monster. We ate off this for like 2 suppers this week, and we took some in our lunches. This was so delicious. And these were actually things I had in my pantry. I really had no plan going into this week. I didn't know what we were going to eat. I was just kind of burnt out. So, you know, if you keep a good pantry, fridge and freezer full, you can always find something to eat. I doctored mine up with a little pico de gallo and some taco sauce and my sour cream. This was the end of it. This was the little container that had got frozen and thawed out. So it looks kind of runny, but it was still just fine. This was another dish. I would have loved to have had a salad or a big bunch of lettuce with it, but I hadn't been to the store yet. This, again, had all the components of a meal that we needed. Now I'm going to show you the coconut cream pie. I love to make this. This is a Southern Living recipe. This is easy, and I've been making this for my dad for a lot of years, for his birthday or Father's Day. You start out with 1 block of room temperature softened cream cheese, and then you're going to take a cup of cream of coconut. Just going to use your hand mixer and mix those both together until it's nice and smooth. Once you get done with that, you're going to take a box of cheesecake flavored Jell-O pudding. I've only seen the cheesecake flavor in Jell-O, and I really like this. It's like a mix between a coconut cream pie and a cheesecake. It's so yummy. You're going to mix that pudding mixed in there again until it's all smooth. Now, if you can't find that cheesecake pudding, feel free to use coconut cream, vanilla, or whatever. It will still be good, but if you can find the cheesecake, definitely grab you that. Now, I have a 7-ounce bag of coconut, and I'm going to put all but maybe just an ounce or so in here. I'm going to leave that out, and I'm going to toast it up. And you just do that on a sheet pan in the oven, about 325 or 350 degrees for just 4 or 5 minutes. Just watch it really close if you're toasting it up in the oven. And now I've got a small 8-ounce carton of Cool Whip topping, and it's all thawed out, and you're just going to fold that in after you've got all of your coconut mixed in. This is one of those great pies that is all there is to it. You throw it in that pie crust, and I always like to let it sit overnight, if at all possible, but a few hours at least, and it'll get nice and set up. The cream cheese in it just helps it to hold together. You can just flip that little lid on there, and I let mine set overnight. Now, I made this pie nice and early, and it had plenty of time to set up. I wanted to show you a piece of it before I took it to my dad.
So I just cut one little piece out so you could see how yummy it is. And I only put my toasted coconut on this one piece. I didn't want it to get soggy. I wanted it to stay nice and crunchy. This is so good. You could whip you up some fresh whipped cream and put on the top and sprinkle this coconut. This is so easy and so delicious. This is one of these tried and true recipes that I have had for years. Thank you, friends, so much for being here this weekend. I never take for granted the time that you spend with me. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up so I'll know that you're liking what you see. Again, I want to wish a happy Father's Day to my dad and Patrick's dad. We love you guys so much. Appreciate all the sacrifices that you have made for us and our families. It never goes unnoticed or unappreciated. The older we get, the more we appreciate all the things that you've done for us. Friends, I hope you have a blessed week, and be sure to tune in to Wednesday night's grocery haul. It'll be a short one, but I will show you the very neat pie that I made for Patrick's dad for Father's Day. Until then, I send you love from my kitchen.